I also know you had an internship advertised for Times, I think. Can you say a couple of words about that?
Yes, this was a very successful pilot exercise. The initiative came from a journalist, Jonathan Richards of the Times, who works with Times Online. And the way it played out was that two fairly senior but enthusiastic young statisticians, Dr. Dan Jackson and Dr. Brian Tom from the Biostatistics Unit, spent a week, each of them, working with the Times and Times Online journalists on particular stories, doing data analysis, more formal data analysis than the journalists might otherwise have had access to. And the statisticians had the opportunity to meet with the editor to defend or to make the pitch for their stories worked out with these journalists, making it into the newspaper and seeing how the Times would actually follow up on each of two quite substantive investigations that were done in the course of these 2 weeks. One of them on benefit claims, the other on projecting whether local authorities would achieve a government target to reduce by 50% the teenage conception rate by 50% reduction by 2010 against a baseline of 1998. And the analysis there seemed to suggest that most were going to miss the target, and the Times journalists, reporters, are going out to to local authority areas which seem to be particularly likely to miss the target, to investigate what's been going on there. So it seems to have been successful, both from the point of view of the statisticians, the interest in seeing the editorial processes, and the journalists. What impressed our statisticians was the creativity of the journalists in devising graphics that would be both informative and entertaining. And I think that's a big lesson for us to learn from the journalists.
It also sounds on the strategy of how to disseminate statistics knowledge is like it's useful to have an sort of in-house statistician, even if on a temporary basis, to help to interpret statistics. I don't know if you
yes,
agree.
and what Jonathan Richards' view of it was that one of the follow-ups that they were making was through a quite detailed Freedom of Information request to the Department of Work and Pensions. And he said they would never have been able to write the request so specifically and incisively had they not had the logistic regression that had been done in advance on the available data. So the interplay is good. And I'd like to see that interplay working not just with journalists, but also with parliamentarians, so that parliamentarians are enabled to put statistically informed questions, so that there is very little wriggle room for those who respond to parliamentary questions to avoid giving proper and analysable information back to parliamentarians.
Yes, thank you. So let's hope that the future sample of the works from the Royal Statistical Society journals will be as effective.
Thank you so much.